We're good. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 26, 2023 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please rise and join me with the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board this year. To my right, to my left is our Vice President, Gary Merrill, and to my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis, Tracy Davies, our Administrator, Dawn Houston, our Deputy Administrator, and our clerks, Sarah DeNova and Jennifer Walraven. So we can begin.
Resolution number 23-43, in the matter of approving electronic record proceeding from regular meeting held January 23rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-43. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 23-44, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CMA PR 0125 and memo transfers in batch numbers MTA 0215.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-44. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-45, in the matter of amending resolution number 21-195, appointing clerk and deputy clerks for the Board of Commissioners to reflect personnel changes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-45. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-46, in the matter of delegating temporary authority to the county administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-46. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-47, in the matter of a new liquor license request from Slick Whiskers Depot Incorporated and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no request for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-47. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-48, in the matter of appointing a deputy apiarist and approving an agreement with Dan Curtis for apiary inspection services for 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I'll just comment, this is something that the county is required to do, and the honeybee population is something that's extremely important to the farming community and frankly to all of us, and this is something that helps ensure the health of the bee community in our state.
And as I understand it, we're required to have an apiarist, but it makes sense anyway, because it is important, as you mentioned. So, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-48. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-49, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-49. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-50, in the matter of amending the public hearing date for the Village at Harvest Wind Condominiums Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-50. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-51, in the matter of canceling the Commissioner's session scheduled for March 6, 2023, Monday, March 13th, 2023, Thursday, March 16th, 2023, and Thursday, March 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-51. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-52, in the matter of delegating temporary authority to the county administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-52. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
We have a replacement item for number 12. Resolution number 23-53, in the matter of rescheduling the Commissioner session for Thursday, February 16th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 23-53. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Next, we have Jane Hawes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you a discussion item regarding our Community Enhancement Grant Program from last year. One of the grant recipients, the Arts Castle, has requested permission to transfer the money that they were awarded to a different project because of an emergency that's come up. They had originally requested their grant to replace, repair stucco on the building. They've had something come up where the boiler in the building needs to be replaced and repaired, so they're asking if they could transfer that. Now, that would be under the authority of the county administrator we would forge a new agreement with them, go through all the usual channels to approve that, and then Tracy Davies would be authorized to sign for that, but we need some direction from you on the matter, so.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I saw the letter that was written about it, and certainly it's a needed repair. So, and that's the purpose of this, really, to help the nonprofits and be able to function still,
Okay.
and to give them a little help. So this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. Commissioner Merrill.
Yeah, my comment is, this is the second one we've had in this.
Cycle,
And
yeah,
I
grants.
think we ought to, next time we go through this process, we ought to have a little clarity about how we will handle these during the process, whenever that is. But I support it.
Okay,
Yeah, this is critical for their mission because they can't operate the building without appropriate heat. So this makes sense. I think they're prioritizing correctly. And it's good that we're flexible enough to realign the use of the funds, so.
okay, very good. I'll just point out, I have had inquiries already from a number of agencies about what our cycle might be for this year. So at some point, we'll have to have that discussion as well, so, okay, thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thanks.
And
We
that
don't,
brings
we
us-
aren't ready for a resolution to vote on that then? Or do we need to? This is under Tracy's authority?
Yeah, it's just, it's sort of, we need your guidance as staff as to how to proceed on that,
Okay.
so, okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
That brings us to the item 14, resolution number 23-54, and the matter authorizing the purchase of power stretchers for the use of the Delaware County Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. This resolution will authorize the purchase of 2 power load systems to be placed in 2 new ambulances that you'll have a resolution on those coming soon. The reason I got the power load systems in front of you prior to that is because they're hitting a 10% price increase on February 1st. This is the hydraulic power load systems that we put inside of every ambulance, reduces shoulder injuries, back injuries, and is much safer for the patient and the provider.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask you, exactly what these things do. I assume they were powerful lifting devices.
Yep.
Okay?
Just one question. Do all the stations now have these? Or, I mean, they will be getting them? I know I've seen one. It was even a couple years ago.
Yeah, so the plan has been, every time we order a new ambulance, outfit them with these new stretchers.
Okay.
With the delay on getting ambulances, it has delayed every frontline unit having one. So Medic 6 and Medic 7 are slated to get their brand-new ambulances this year that we ordered 2 years ago, I think. And when they do, the whole frontline fleet will be power load stretchers.
Okay.
Oh, so these are the last 2 then?
Yes, and then we do have 2 others that we will be placing in some of our reserve units, simply because they're sitting on a shelf at our logistics center. It's down at Station 7 with an unknown ETA on the ambulances that they're supposed to be placed in. So it's our theory that they should be placed in a backup ambulance and actually get use and serve their purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-54. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-55, and the matter of approving an employer services agreement by and between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Emergency Medical Services Department, and Ohio Health Corporation for employee health program services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel again, Delaware County EMS.
You're still
Still, yeah.
Still here.
Still safer.
I didn't go anywhere. This is the agreement that we strike yearly with Ohio Health to maintain our services with them that provides an exercise physiologist coming out to our stations and doing 40 hours a week of physical fitness and lifestyle changes as far as fitness is concerned with our employees. Ohio Health also hosts, as a third-party vendor, our yearly physical abilities test. They do our TB screening, and they do our vaccinations should an employee need maybe a hepatitis vaccination or a titer or something like that. And new to it this year will also be a dietary newsletter and presentation by a registered dietitian. So all a part of our wellness program that we have here at Delaware County EMS.
Okay, comments, questions? All right, Sarah, let's vote.
Vote on motion 23-55. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Jeff.
Resolution number 23-56, in the matter of approving the DKMM County Recycling and Litter Prevention Office Program Final Status Report for 2022.
So moved.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Way Young, Keep Delaware County Beautiful, Delaware Public Health District. I wanted to share some highlights from the past year with you. One of the first things that we did last spring was we worked with Genoa Township to do a pilot project for latex paint drop-off, which was very successful. We collected almost 25,000 pounds of latex paint at that event for their residents. I attended a 2-day Earth Day event at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, and volunteers from Dempsey Middle School and Buckeye Valley Middle School assisted with that. And we recycled paper with hundreds of zoo guests. It was a beautiful weekend. We worked with DKMM and held the household hazardous waste drop-off in Delaware County. 470 vehicles dropped off over 22,000 pounds of hazardous materials. And we had one of the most successful Great American Cleanup events in years. We had almost 900 volunteers. They put in more than 1,200 hours of community service and collected more than 3 tons of litter in our communities across Delaware County. So that was very exciting. We had a great Olentangy River sweep. We did river cleanups with some groups in Delaware Run and Blue Limestone. The Scioto River, water was kind of high that weekend, so we only had 20 volunteers, but we still got 400 pounds of trash on 7 tires. There were presentations that were done, 28 presentations that were done throughout the year to almost 600 people. And we just completed the string light recycling drop-off. We had 9 locations, and it looks like I'm estimating that we collected 1.5 tons, so just a little bit more than we did last year. It was very successful. And then finally, new this year, we began with DKMM, City of Delaware, and then it's for open to all Delaware County residents, a food scrap composting program. So what we did is residents can pick up a bucket for their food scraps. They can fill it up, they can take it and dump it off for free, drop it off for free at Price Farms Organics. The reason we want to do this is that in the United States, our residents or our population wastes more than 35 million tons of food waste. And so if we can collect the food scraps from our homes and we can compost them, that is great. And again, we have, as you know, one of the best composting facilities in the state of Ohio right here in Delaware County. So we're teaching residents about why it's important. In the bucket, they get a flyer. We have information on our website, which we're working to update. And it's been very successful. Price Farms says that there's people that have been coming out that they've never met before, so that's great. So they're getting some new folks coming to visit, and they think that there'll be additional people coming out in the spring. So we're planning on continuing into the next year. And
Do you have any idea how what number?
so we started out, the buckets were not inexpensive. We've done a lot of advertising with it, but we've distributed just under 200 buckets, like 175 buckets so far. And that was like just from November. So it's kind of slowed off. The advertising has stopped for now. We're hoping to get that up and running again. And again, once the warm weather comes along, we should be able to get more buckets out.
Do they drop off the bucket full and get a new bucket, or do they just empty it while you're there?
They have to empty it out. There's nobody to wash their buckets for them, so they have to do it themselves. But Price Farm is allowing them to fill up their bucket. For $2, they can fill it up with their favorite compost blend and take it home and dump it on their garden if they want to. So that's exciting. And we went ahead and got a bucket that has easy to take off lids. I guess there's different lids. They do come with a flyer inside that, again, talks more about the program. They can get more information, and a QR code that can take it to their website, and again, contact information if they want to have any questions or want to reach out. So,
Great report. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
so yeah, we'll have it.
So what events do you have, big events do you have planned for 2023?
Ooh, there's a question. Again, river sweeps are always a big event. Working on getting things started up with the, lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. The Great American Cleanup, getting that rolling again. The other big event we'll be doing electronics drop-off.
Yeah.
DKMM wants us to do a project with the largest city, and so we're in discussions as to what the city might want to be, that the city of Delaware might want to do. Something new this year, PAL is going to be having an Earth Day event, so they've reached out, and I will be participating in that, and we're going to be providing hopefully some Clearstream containers for recycling at that event as well. So that's kind of a neat thing. And then there'll also be the Earth Day event at the zoo that same weekend, so it'll be a busy one, for sure.
Good. All right.
Thank you for
Uh,
coming in.
I have a question and I asked a comment. There's a lot of groups that collect litter.
Yes.
Do you have any ability to kind of determine what those numbers are? Do you try to collect those?
I try to collect that information, and actually I'm working with our IT person so that I can send them a link and they can click in their information and report it digitally to us.
Yeah, our Rotary Club, for example, 521, there's an area they do 4 times a year, so.
And that's a little bit different because that's part of an ODOT program, but I do provide the litter grabbers for that. I think ODOT will do that if they're a Gold Star group. I don't know that Rotary's there yet, but they're certainly welcome to borrow my grabbers because that's why I have them.
And to the clerks, I think Commissioner Lewis and I both made the motion, so I'm not sure who made the second, but I'll defer and I'll make the second to Commissioner Lewis's motion.
Good. Any other comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-56. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Bitten?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 23-57, in the matter of approving a services agreement by and between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Commercial Express Building Services Incorporated for janitorial services at 50 Channing Street and 149 North Sandusky Street, Delaware, Ohio.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Good morning, Don Melvin, Director of Facilities. As noted, this is the contracted janitorial service for those 2 locations. We will probably be terminating this contract hopefully this fall when we move out of those locations to the Bixby campus.
Yeah, that's why, I've assumed that's why the
Yeah,
time.
we did the contract for a full year, just,
Yep. Okay. Comments, questions, vote?
Vote on motion 23-57. Mr. Bitten?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-58, in the matter of approving change orders OCO-07, OCO-08, OCO-09 to the construction manager at risk contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Gilbane Building Company for the Bixby Campus DACC redevelopment project.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion?
change order number 7, which is for Bolton 6. The numbers don't always correspond. That one is for the entrance onto the new parkway. During design, it was anticipated the parkway and the roundabout would be constructed after the project. Obviously, with the delays, it ended up getting constructed. So this is actually the actual tie-in. This entrance will be a secured entrance, so there's an electric gate with the card access to it to make that final connection. That one, change order number 8 is, again, we value engineered the engineer's truck storage building to a pre-engineered metal building. That company provides the foundation, and then that had to be coordinated, after the bid. So this is for the complete foundation package for that building. And then the change order 9 is a list of issues we've been working through, majority of them from the existing building. renovations in there. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
You know what question I'm going to ask?
Timeline? Currently, they're on schedule with the existing renovations, the existing building anticipated to be completed in June. And they're a little behind schedule because of weather on the Sheriff's Administration Building. They're working to recover that. That is still anticipated to be completed late July. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So-
Gilbane's working hard. Superintendent Todd out there has been cracking the whip. Obviously, the weather kind of held him up getting the building dried in on the Sheriff's Administration Building. So sun's out, they'll have the roofer up there to complete that. They're real close to having the building dried in. They got some temporary plastic enclosing the building. We did get gas turned on, so they have temporary heat going in that building, and their interior walls are going up.
Okay, good.
A question, as far as the move, once it's all done, is it gonna be, everybody's gonna move on a weekend, or they're just gonna move at their pace?
We'll schedule it out, obviously, kind of helps that the buildings be done at different timeframes, and then we'll coordinate the moves. I anticipate we're probably just bidding out the move, just like the company to do that, work with the different offices and coordinate that move. I would anticipate probably that typical, what we've done with the commissioners, what we did with the courthouse, we'll probably shut down a Friday, actually do the move on a Friday, so that everybody had the weekend to get in there and unpack, and then get set up, and then hopefully be ready to open business as usual on Monday morning.
You'll be here soon.
It is, yes.
Thanks.
Any other questions, comments? Okay,
Yeah.
vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-58. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
All right,
Hey, John, before you take off,
Yes.
this isn't a question, this is a compliment. I want to thank you for all the snow removal work.
Oh, I'll
Speaking-
definitely pass that on to the guys.
Yeah, the team does a
The
great
team.
job every year, and it's one of those thankless, hard jobs, to,
Yeah.
keep all our facilities clean of snow and ice and everything,
Yeah.
but they do a great job, so I want to thank you and
Thank you
and
very
the gang
much.
for doing
I'll
that.
definitely pass that on.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks. All right, Sarah?
Resolution number 23-59, in the matter of establishing new funds and new organization key and approving supplemental appropriations, a modification to revenue estimates in advance of cash for the regional sewer district.
so moved. Second?
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Avi, Director of Finance. Just as an overview, this resolution will establish the funds, chart of accounts, and the budget for an OWDA loan and a grant from the state of Ohio for the OECC Plan Upgrade Project. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
No real questions, comments, again, state really appreciate the grant. It was a $5 million grant, and we applied it to this project and considerably helped fund it, as well as the OWDA loan, which was much more favorable than other alternatives we were looking
Right.
at. So thanks to everyone who was involved in that. I know that's a team effort. Okay, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-59. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
All right,
Thank you.
We do have an item for other business. Resolution number 23-60, in the matter of approving and authorizing the county administrator to execute the Meyer Settlement Participation Agreement.
so moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Davies, County Administrator. Will just authorize the county to move forward with the settlement agreement for Meyer. This is just the first of several settlements. You'll be seeing that the money will come directly to the county and not through the larger opioid group. We do have an internal work group established, which Dawn Houston and Eric Hostetler are leading, along with some of the attendees to the group, our mental health, the sheriff's office, prosecutor's office, the courts, EMS, the health district, JFS, and a few others that will come to you with recommendations on how the funds should be used in the future. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, this is just the first of a number of settlements we'll see in the coming months and years, probably, as this thing takes a while to work its way through, but,
Yeah.
okay, good deal. Anything else?
No.
Dawn?
No, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Merrill?
Wait,
We need
can
to
you
vote.
take a vote?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Vote on motion 23-60. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye,
Mr. Benton?
Aye. Okay, now administrator reports.
Oh, I'm good.
Anything else? Still nothing else?
No.
Dawn, still nothing else? Commissioner Merrill? You want to talk Oklahoma softball?
are you becoming a big fan, aren't you?
I am. They're good. They got 8 nominees for the softball player of the year.
He obviously follows it pretty well to know that. He clarified his point, though. They identified the 50 players most likely to be Player of the Year, and out of those 50, 8 of them are Sooners. So that's pretty impressive. I have a couple of things. Regional planning meets tonight, 6 o'clock. So, and tomorrow, 1 o'clock, we have our legislative meeting. And I believe Beth Lear will be there for the first time and obviously introduce herself and probably make a few comments if I had to guess. And with that, I'm done.
Okay.
I'd
Commissioner Lewis?
just like to thank everyone our facilities, engineers, all others. I know our administrator was up very early, sending a 6 a.m. Text the other day about level 2 snow. So just like to thank everybody for their work on this. And boy, we've had a series of
It's been,
snows.
it's January in Ohio. The
That's
snow
that-
was
it
here
is.
and now it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
Then-
almost gone.
Yeah.
So far, it's been a fairly mild winter.
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. We've had, I think, 3 real snow events, but they've gone away quickly, so. Okay, I had just a couple other things. That it?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did a fiber webinar yesterday, CCAO put on, or maybe it was Tuesday, and it was very interesting. They're working on a whole bunch of grants at the Ohio, I forget the exact name of the agency, but there's a group at the Ohio level that's working on, this is their entire focus, is expanding the fiber network to all underserved or unserved areas. And Delaware County still has, I think, 7% of our, I printed out the form, I think it's 7% either unserved or underserved. And it tends to be in the northwest area of the county. And it's not a huge number of houses, but, you know, I think it's 6 or 7% of Delaware County is
7%
still.
households apparently, because land mass would be a bigger area. than-
Right. And so anyway, again, it's good. There's going to be some funding available. We have a new firm retained to study this for us so we can move forward and get some of these areas addressed. So that's great. But again, it was very interesting. Legislative update, Commissioner Merrill addressed. We got a special land bank meeting tomorrow morning just to talk about Sunny V. So the remediation grant that we need to get handled. Got Mission Court graduation tomorrow afternoon, SEPCO board meeting tomorrow morning. So a lot going on as always. I think that's it. But we do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 23-61, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment of a public employee or public official for for collective bargaining.
So moved. Second?
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 23-61. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we're now in executive session.